Hi guys, and welcome back to Tommy's Starcraft. This is your host Tommy with another Starcraft Remastered replay for you guys. And once again we have a great engagement in between two pro players from the South Korean scene. So let me just start by introducing the players to you guys. In the upper right we have spawning as the Protoss. It is PUSAN, a very skilled Protoss player indeed. And his opponent is going to be none other than spawning here in the lower left in the blue. It is Savior, also very strong Zerg. Back in the days he even was at the same skill level as Jadon. Sadly for him, he was involved in some match fixing scandals, and ever since he of course dropped in so much skill and also was banned by many competition. And we have a really beautiful Zerg versus Protoss gameplay here indeed. Of course we know that many Zergs really like to go into perhaps a early push with some Zerglings, with some Hydralisk. Of course later in the game you might also see those much needed Defilers. Some Ultralisk are also an option, but at the same time some Zergs really like to upgrade their base into a tier 2 push, perhaps with some Mutalisk, perhaps with some Lurkers. So we are about to see what exactly Savior is going to opt for here. At the same time we have the Protoss here. Of course it is a must as a Protoss if you ask me to go for some splash damage units, just like the High Templars with that Psionic Storm, or reverse also with Psionic Storm. You also might want to add some Zealots and some Dragoons to that. Carriers aren't really much seen in this case. Arbiters of course also not much unit used, given the fact that Zerg has of course those Overlords with that detection. So we have a really early expansion here by Savior, but it is being scouted as fast as possible of course as from PUSAN. PUSAN at the same time also preparing an expansion here, as we have a 4 locations on this map, 4 spawning location on this map. So of course this map allows this for both players. At the same time Savior really wants to know what exactly PUSAN is up to, and of course is going to see the expansion as well. So once again his probe here is in the main. He sees that spawning pool being built. Of course is going to try to stay as much as possible here, just to as much as possible vision here, just to see exactly what Savior is up to, if he's preparing a push and so on. So an early expansion versus an early expansion build up here by both players. I believe this could be of course a forge. Indeed the Protoss wishes of course to wall in here and just build some cannons in the back, perhaps 1 or 2 cannons, just to fend off any early aggression by Zerglings for example. So let's just see what exactly these two players have prepared up. This is of course the gateway with that forge, a nice beeline here just to block any entrance here early on from the Zerg. The Zerg has his overlords nicely spread here around the map. The probe however is still here into the main from Savior, so very important scouting here for PUSAN indeed, as he doesn't see yet that tier 2 upgrade. The first Zerglings however should be pretty soon on the map. No, actually he doesn't go for this Zergling yet, he's just droning up as much as possible. So early another expansion here by Savior, nicely hidden expansion of course. PUSAN anticipates this, he's checking for this location, and later on of course he's going to very likely find this expansion, or is, yes indeed he's heading straight towards this location. At the same time those Overlords are of course going to place themselves into strategic positions here, just to see exactly when an army move out is going to come out from PUSAN. So really standard stuff here by both players. We already have an upgrade into that tier 2, and we might see of course the decision here from Savior. What exactly is he going to? He might of course opt for some Mutalisk, he might go for some Lurkers, he might go for some Hydralisk, but PUSAN is coming in straight here with his probe, and this probe very important here for him, as he sees of course that upgrade into tier 2. So let's just see his reaction here. Perhaps he's building already a Stargate and the Citadel of Adun just to upgrade those legs for those Zealots. One gateway is indeed also up. He is already at 29 workers here, closing in at 13, and Savior at only 20 workers. But remember that Zergs do lose of course workers if they make a building. Now the first Zerglings are already out on the map. Given the fact that this cannon is a little bit in the back, perhaps it would have been better to place it here, but then again I'm sure PUSAN knows exactly what he's doing. And yeah, let's just see what exactly Savior is up to. He's already moving out into the third location here from PUSAN. Really wants to know that PUSAN is not expanding into this location here as well. A nicely placed Overlord here has everything under control, sees everything. Let's just have a look what exactly he's going for. A Templar Archives, of course. He might go into some Dark Templar or into some High Templar with Psionic Storm build up here. The first Corsair is also out on the map. Corsair, a very important unit here for the Protoss, as it can kill, of course, many Overlords and perhaps later on some Mutalisks. So let's just see if Savior is indeed going for a Spire. But this could be also a fake Spire here for him, as he might cancel it or just transition straight into some Hydralisk. There's another hatchery going on here. So no Hydralisk then here for Savior. His first Overlord is already being attacked, so this is a first kill, of course, for PUSAN here. At the same time, Savior knocking in on the door from this expansion here. So let's just see exactly what these two players once again have prepared. First, this one Overlord is being taken out, and Savior also expanding into this position. The Corsair, a very fast unit, also good for scouting purposes. Some Overlords are, of course, spread around the map. There are some Scourge here just to hunt those Corsairs. But perhaps Savior is even going to upgrade the speed here for his Overlord, and it would be, of course, a good decision here. We also have first Dark Templar here out on the map, combined with those Corsairs. Of course, a lot of damage can be dealt here against the Zerg. So let's just see what exactly the answer is going to be here from Savior. Let's just have a look. Is he going for Mutalisk? No, actually he transitions straight into that Hydralisk. Then with Hydralisk, the first Dark Templar arrives here, and he can one shot those drones. Another one is here in the middle of the map. There is detection here, of course, from Savior, but he needs to be very careful, as he has no units here, so a lot of mining time has been denied here for him. Zerglings should, however, get somehow us around onto this Dark Templar, so really nice strategy here shown to us by PUSAN with that Dark Templar denying so much mining time here for him. There's another High Templar here, and yet another Dark Templar coming in here, just killing another drone here, so early aggression here by PUSAN versus Savior. This one Dark Templar is being surrounded, he's being hunted, but he abuses the fact that he's faster than this Overlord, and at the same time he's going to make it into this position, but sadly for him there is already an Overlord here, so PUSAN is very likely indeed going to lose this Dark Templar. The second Dark Templar also prepares, nicely strategically placed here in the middle of the map, just to notice any army move out here by a Savior. At the same time we have some Zealots already out on the map, upgraded with speed legs, and they could do a lot of harassment here. However, there is a Sunken, but those Zealots just going to ignore that Sunken and go straight for those drones. 2 drones already dead, 3. Really nice job here by PUSAN with those Zealots. Nicely done, killing here 5 drones already, perhaps even the 6th. Indeed, the 6th is being killed, and a lot of mining time has been denied here. Finally, the Hydralisk are coming in just to counter this. At the same time, another group of Zealots are moving out in here on the map, perhaps already upgraded 1 weapons. No, not yet. And there are no Sunkens here, there's just Hydralisk with Zerglings, so he's going straight for those drones. Even with this Dark Templar, he's helping out a little bit. But at the same time he has to retreat, of course, as there's too much here for Savior. So early aggression here by the Protoss, really nicely done here by him. Savior has to stay back into this base and defend. At the same time PUSAN is expanding here at this 3 o'clock position and even transferring some probes. No, these actually are some Zealots there to defend this base. However, worker wise, even though the damage has been done by PUSAN, he is lower on a worker count, 41 workers versus the 43 here by Savior. Things are finally settling down, the Zealots are nicely placed in the middle of the map. The same can be said about the Scourge, as they detect any army move out here, so Savior knows exactly when PUSAN is moving in. He might even get us around here onto these Zealots, so PUSAN needs to be very careful here. Trying, of course, those Hydros are good against Zealots, however, if they get that good range here versus them, and hopefully for him he's not going to get surrounded here by these zealots, so he's just needs to find a very good position here for his hydras. One zealot already taking damage, but really soon, of course, Savior needs to back off. He's actually spreading here his units all around the map and just waits, of course, of more and more reinforcements here. It's just zealots in the middle of the map. Probes are finally being transferred. Let's just have a look at the main here from PUSAN. We see that gateway units indeed and a Stargate. At the same time we have another move out here by PUSAN, and even a nice drop with this shuttle with that Hype Psionic Templar. Of course, so much splash damage here being dealt, but so much action going on back and forth here. Another drone has been killed. Zealots are a little bit trapped here. There's even a sunken another zealot move out here, and a good Psionic Storm. However, Savior very good at defending this. There would be enough energy for another one. However, sadly PUSAN is losing this, and even his shuttle might get taken out here, of course. So really good engagement here. However, Savior very strong on his reaction time, saving all of those drones and microing even his units out. So really good early aggression here by PUSAN, but Savior very strong onto his reaction. And we actually see a Protoss with mass zealots here, no dragoons at all, so pretty interesting. Perhaps later on he's going to transition into dragoons. Right now, however, he's going straight into zealots, and of course a great counter to these zealots are the lurkers with their splash damage here, as I don't think that he has any observer. Actually he does, but he needs to be very careful, waiting here for his observer. One zealot also being taken out. High Templar with a good storm, however PUSAN doing a great job. Actually Savior doing a first great job into avoiding that Templar storm. However, the second one really good here for him. Still no dragoons here. This one Templar might get taken out here. Zealots are there to defend it, however, and more zealots are pouring in here for PUSAN. Some zealots, sadly for him, being left behind, but more and more are actually transitioning into the upper ground. However, Savior already there, reacting with some sunkens here against PUSAN. PUSAN very aggressive. At the same time, he of course buys time here for his expansion to pump as much minerals as possible, and indeed he is transitioning into some dragoons. Of course, those dragoons will be very highly there to defend, to support these zealots. Of course, zealots will take the first shots here against the Zerg, like they always do, even against the Terrans. And at the same time he's even expanding here into this location. However, Savior already there wishes to deny this, but PUSAN shows his presence. And let's just have a look at the follow-up here. Some lurkers are already burrowed here. They might try to get a good position here into this location, for example, just to deny any backup here from the Protoss. So PUSAN in a little bit of trouble. Let's just see if he does he has detection. He does indeed have detection, and he should be able to kill this. However, Savior with a great tactical decision here, blocking this ramp here with 2x here. So really nice stuff here by him, as he's denying here this position from PUSAN. So nice job here by him, as this zealot sadly for PUSAN can't reach, and he even cancels these lurkers. So nice job here by him. However, PUSAN now with a very strong army move out here. Let's just have a look at the upgrades. Already 2 weapons upgrades here for him, as he's going to try to push in here. There's just 2 lurkers here with some Zerglings and with some Hydralisk, of course, but in come the reinforcements here from PUSAN, and this could be a very good strike here by him. Let's just see, the first lurkers should be attacked, of course, are nicely being surrounded. The second lurker as well. So much here for PUSAN, indeed, so much splash damage now with those High Templars. So much energy here for him. Lurkers not burrowed. There is a sunken, of course, attacking finally these 3 lurkers might deal a lot of splash damage. In come the reinforcements, however, from the back from Savior, and there's just so much action going on here. Lots of splash damage by both players. High Templars with High Storm against those lurkers. At the same time, lurkers with lots of splash damage against PUSAN. So much action going on here, but in the end Savior holds, and he is able to force back PUSAN from here. PUSAN with reinforcements. The same can be said by Savior, also with reinforcements here. There's a nice archon. His shields are down, so of course he's going to be taken out. And Savior somehow holds and also cancels this expansion here from PUSAN. PUSAN has to retreat as of course more and more reinforcements are coming in here for the Zerg, but it's just Zerglings, and of course Zerglings will be very fast taken out by a High Templar with Psionic Storm or an Archon, for example, with splash damage. The numbers are very high here for Savior, of course, as PUSAN has to retreat a little bit. Some Reaver gameplay would be of course a good idea here for him against those Zerglings. Reavers of course very strong against Zerglings. Now let's just have a look as finally the aggression has stopped here by both players. Some Hydralisks are being left here behind just to defend this location. And even some great army composition here in the middle of the map. At the same time, Savior is going to cancel here his legs. Of course, he has to push back as PUSAN is moving forward here. He will of course try to secure his position here and perhaps even do a expansion. At the same time, Savior is slowly but steadily moving in. However, he needs so much more army presence here in the upper part of the map. He is regrouping here. There are even some overloads, so he might see some drop here. The speed has been upgraded for these overlords, and this location could be of course a good decision here for him. Let's just see what exactly does he have any units into those overlords. Let's just check. No units yet. However, the units are pouring in now. It's just Zerglings with Hydralisk, and there's even a Defiler here. Of course, Defiler, very strong unit with a Dark Swarm just to defend these units against any rage attack, so it would be perfect here. Savior preparing a nice drop here. Perhaps some lurkers will be morphed. He's just waiting, perhaps building more and more units. Some units are being taken back. There's a nice harassment here once again by PUSAN. Let's just see, is he going to be able to kill some miners here? No, he doesn't have any energy sadly for him, so this High Templar is being left alone. Still the drop isn't being prepared here. There's a nice pylon being placed here, perhaps for detection reasons. Finally, here we go. Savior is moving out. Let's just see exactly what's he going to do. The first shots are being soaked up here by those Zerglings. Really nice try. And a nice orange storm, another orange storm here just to protect these units. Good Psionic Storm here from PUSAN. So more and more units are being dropped here. Nicely done here. Nice defense by that Psionic Storm. Once again, he's warping some Archons, but the force here from Savior is just way too much, and he is able to kill this expansion. Not only that, but he dropped PUSAN here at 34 workers, so really great job here by Savior at the 17-minute mark. Nice push by him. Of course, losing those units, but it was all worth it given the fact that this expansion has fallen and some workers have fallen here as well for PUSAN. So nice show of strength here by Savior. And he perhaps even going to prepare another push here, as those cannons have fallen indeed. Some Archons are being here left behind. Of course, Archons with their splash damage, really great against the Zerg army composition. Now let's just see how the reaction from PUSAN is going to be. Is he going to try to attack into this location? But notice that Savior has units all over the map, and there's another hatchery here being built. At one point I just saw that he might have done a drop here with some High Templars, which I have missed. So let's just have a look exactly what exactly are these two Protoss players are going to be prepared for it. PUSAN is moving out here with a very strong force with those Archons, backed up by Zealots and Dragoons. Archons, very nice army composition, but they need to get those attacks going. So let's just have a look. Zerglings are in the front, so are the Zealots, really strong, and this expansion here is in trouble here. Savior taking lots and lots of damage. He has to pull those drones behind. A nice Psionic Storm here. Another nice Psionic Storm dealing so much splash damage into those lurkers. Those lurkers will fall, and he's going straight for this hatchery. This hatchery is falling so fast against those Archons here. But some detection is of course being needed here for PUSAN. So Savior killing the expansion from this one, and at the same time Savior also killing this expansion. But PUSAN also answering very strong by killing this expansion. So Still some lurkers have been borrowed here. He did try another drop here, but this time PUSAN doing a very great job here indeed by defending this expansion. So what a crazy game here with so much action going on. Really hard to cast, but let's just see what more follow-ups have these players prepared for us. Indeed another push here by Savior. There are no cannons here, however these units are nicely hidden here behind those buildings, so Savior will try of course to perhaps kill this forge, as reinforcements from PUSAN are pouring in from the back. Archons very good with that splash damage, dealing once again so much damage against the Zerg units. Good Dark Storm here by the Zerg, and he has to of course retreat here against those Archons. He will stand no chance. Really nice stuff here by PUSAN, defending here his expansion, even building some cannons here just to secure his buildings. At the same time he wishes of course to expand into this location perhaps. Let's just have a look what exactly is the answer from Savior going to be. I see some Zerglings pouring in with some lurkers, no Hydralisk yet. Some Hydralisk are being left here behind just to defend or perhaps even attack this location here. However the ramp is blocked and those two High Templars very strong here. Zealots need to be careful. We have a small engagement here in the middle of the map, but in the end I'm pretty sure he's going to back down as there are so many Zealots here and they can deal damage even if they're in that Dark Storm. So at the same time we have a good Plague here now going on, but those Archons of course so strong with that splash damage here. An Archon with some Zealots being left behind here. Let's just see what the next target here is going to be from PUSAN. Perhaps he's going to push into this location, very hardly defended location here by Savior. No, he's actually going straight into this location of course, as there are only 3 spread lurkers here. But Savior is not going to wait for that. He decides to bring his reinforcements from the back. Good Psionic Storm once again. PUSAN showing us the strength of that Psionic Storm. Archons are also very strong against this army composition with the splash damage, but they need to get those connections. Savior is pushing this back with those Hydralisk. One Archon is even taken out here. More and more reinforcements are pouring in and we have another engagement here, but those Archons are dealing great damage against those Zerglings indeed, and they're also very good against those Hydras. Savior is trying to micro those Hydras out as PUSAN holds here and repositions in the middle of the map. But if you look at the map, there's just units all over the place here for Savior. Savior of course trying to get as much energy as possible onto those Defilers, so the Dark Storm is much needed here, as they would defend against the Archons, however not against the Zealots. So once again PUSAN is trying to find here this location just to expand. We have 48 workers for him versus the 56 already from Savior here. So Savior with a great macro oriented game even gets a nice surround here against those Archons. However Archons with their splash damage and with their tanky shields are being able to fend this attack off. More and more reinforcements are pouring in here from Savior. Savior with those Hydralisk feels very confident as he's pushing more and more out on the map. Defiler full energy is going to be a must here perhaps against this expansion. Let's just see what Savior is going to opt for. He decides to go back into that Dark Storm. And let's just see what exactly the next, perhaps a transition from some of these units. Perhaps no, I just see only gateways here being done here by PUSAN and expansions. There's a nice river here for him as well. Let's have a look at the Savior's base. He's already at tier 3 of course, perhaps some Ultralisk would be an option here for him. Nice reinforcements here in the back for him just to defend this base. Nicely spreaded lurkers here for him as well against those Archons. Archons are taking massive splash damage, so are the Zealots, but a good Psionic Storm here is being able to push this back. Zealots of course deal damage to those units in that Dark Storm. So Savior once again has to pull back and defend his expansion here. No, PUSAN decides to change his mind and perhaps go for this location here. Some units could be killed here. Savior not paying attention here, he's going to lose so many units here. But in the end his force is just way too big and the reinforcements are pouring in. Of course PUSAN is pushing in here. Some lurkers will be pretty much soon ready, but they need to burrow as fast as possible against these Archons. Here they are. Savior is of course going to burrow them as fast as possible. No, He's actually just microing his reinforcements here and pushing PUSAN back. Of course, PUSAN has a nice river here located, so this river will deal, of course, massive splash damage here against the Zerg. The Zerg, however, already at 161 supply versus the 158 here for PUSAN. Let's just see where exactly they mine from this location and this location. And the Zerg also mining from 4 bases actually even. So really strong and aggressive gameplay here by both players. Still, however, Saving doing a great job not allowing the Protoss to expand into these locations here. Also showing his map presence in the middle of the map. But PUSAN is moving forward, so Savior needs to be careful. Let's just check his upgrades. 3-2 upgrades already for him against the Zealots. Also 3-3, so both players at the 25-minute mark, of course, giving much importance to their upgrades. A nice Plague here on these units. Great Psionic Storm once again. Great splash damage by those Archons, but his army is being surrounded here by Savior. Plague is dealing so much damage against the HP from those Dragoons. PUSAN just needs to find some good connections here. Of course, the Zealots once again are in the front, but he's being surrounded, so he needs to be very careful here. As more reinforcements are pouring in here by Savior. But that Psionic Storm once again shows his value, and even another one here. So much splash damage here being dealt by PUSAN, as he feels very comfortable here. He perhaps even going to take out this base here. However, there are some Sunkens here with those lurkers here. However, detection is there, so the lurker will fall. And there's just a couple of Hydralisks. However, the reinforcements are pouring in once again here for Savior. It's just Zerglings perhaps, so PUSAN could hold this attack with some Archons, with those High Templars. Sadly for him, not that much energy being left, but once again a great High Templar Psionic Storm here, even another one here. Those Hydralisks are dropped or trapped here, and PUSAN feels very comfortable here. However, the reinforcements once again are pouring in here for Savior. Savior goes into that Dark Swarm. In comes even the Weaver on foot patrol without any shuttle. And Savior is going to be able to clear this off. More reinforcements are coming in, but the Zealots are taking so much splash damage from those lurkers. Zealots are here, of course, and sadly for him the Weaver has been taken out. So in the end, still some Zealots are alive here, but they're being surrounded. Of course, they try to kill as many buildings as possible, or perhaps the sanctuary will fall. And yeah, in the end, Savior is able to hold this attack with his reinforcements. Another nice Psionic Storm once again here by PUSAN. So PUSAN showing us the strength of those Psionic Storms once again. And luckily for him, he is able to keep this hatchery even alive here. He has some reinforcements in the middle of the map, but it's just Zealots. And these cannons should finish pretty soon here for him. But Savior is on time, so sadly for PUSAN he has to cancel this location. This location is going to be very important now even for the Zerg, as perhaps he's going to expand into this location. No, he's actually moving in the low right part as his hatchery is being finished, and he wishes to defend this location, of course. We are closing in at the 30-minute mark. What a intense game here by both players. A very strong gameplay here by both of them. Plague once again shows his strength. These Zealots are just with their hit points so low. Only their shields are holding them up. Of course, PUSAN is going to try to take this location, but the lurkers already being morphed in here by him. So many Zealots here in the front, but as soon as these lurkers will spawn, splash damage will be dealt, and here we go. Lurkers are bored, they are being protected by Dark Swarm, and these Zealots need to find a good position here against the Protoss. Even some Zerglings here are getting those surrounds against PUSAN. PUSAN is going straight for that hatchery. This hatchery might fall, but at what cost? So many Zealots are once again being killed here for the Protoss. And we even have a Nidus connection here, so the Zerg is being more mobile here, as he is of course going to rebuild this hatchery as fast as possible. Another reinforcements here from PUSAN. He's going to regroup, of course, with as much as he can. Does he even have some reavers? No reavers yet for him. Some Psionic Storm once again, very important here for him, as he perhaps going to try a drop perhaps into this location. And perhaps this location is also good, but it's being defended by Scourge. We have a small engagement here in the middle of the map. great usage once again for Dark Swarm from Savior, and a great usage by Plague of course as well. So just shields are here up for the Protoss player, as he's going to try perhaps once again to move into this position, but there's just so much here from Savior, so many Zerglings, Hydras and Defilers again, so he needs somehow to find another way in here, perhaps add some Reavers, perhaps adds even some more High Templars, as Savior is just waiting here for a good position just to get that surround against the Protoss. However, luckily for him, he has pretty soon is going to have another expansion here, as PUSAN is only mining from this location here. Savior mining from 2, soon to be 3 locations here by him, so this position is of course very important here for him and needs to be defended with this Nidal Swarm. PUSAN is waiting for some reinforcements, but he's taking so much damage from those Defilers, from that Plague. Just look at these units, it's just the shields here up for him. Even the Observer has taken some damage from that Plague, so this Observer is of course very fragile, as the whole army composition here by PUSAN. PUSAN however is moving forward, needs to be careful. Zerglings are in the front, so are the Zealots. Massive amounts of splash damage by those Archons. The Hydralisks are hidden in the Dark Swarm, but they're moving just forward and forward. Let's just see, even though they're very hurt, he somehow finds the strength to move forward here and deal as much damage here against Savior. So Savior in some serious trouble here. Those Archons are really strong here, very tanky thanks to their shield, but at the same time the middle of the map, Savior is doing a counter attack here, denying this expansion, but this army move out here by PUSAN is so strong here, with those Archons dealing so much amounts of splash damage. So good engagement here by him, but he just needs to defend this location of course as much as possible. And let's not forget that the Zerg has that Nidus connection here that has been killed by PUSAN, so still anyone's game here. If PUSAN finds some good connection here against Savior, he will be the victor of this game. He's already at 130 supply versus 117, goes now for the main here from Savior, so Savior in some serious trouble. What is his answer going to be? Just a couple of Zerglings with some lurkers, as more and more damage is being dealt to his main. So things actually look really good here for PUSAN. He even has detection with this Observer, he even has some High Templars with that Psionic Storm, so much needed here for him. And at the same time PUSAN is dealing some massive amounts of splash damage with some Archons drop here, so Savior has to defend of course this location, as this location is very important for the Zerg. So is this location here for the Protoss, the last mining expansion here for him. But with a good regroup, I think the Protoss might win this game. However, also the Zerg is very strong, so with some good surrounds he might be the victor of this game. There's even more and more lurkers being spawned here for him. Nice spread here by those lurkers here into this position. PUSAN is feeling very comfortable. However, the reinforcements are coming in here for Savior, so it's still anyone's game now as we close in at the 35-minute mark. The middle of the map is once again being taken here by PUSAN, and he's going to of course trying to defend this location. Some lurkers are going to get buried pretty soon. There comes that Psionic Storm and the Dark Swarm. So let's just have a look what exactly who is going to be aggressive. Indeed, PUSAN is going to try to move forward with Psionic Storm once again, taking out those units. Nice Plague here once again by Savior, damaging so much hit points here for these units. Of course, Savior has his lurkers spread all on the map. Some more reinforcements are pouring in here now. Those units are very hurt here, and in comes the reinforcements here by Savior. Of course, he's going to take out those Archons and those Dragoons, as they are very hurt. However, the shields are of course so much stronger here for the Protoss. In comes Savior here with a great army composition, so many lurkers here, and of course lurkers will deal massive amounts of splash damage against those Archons here. At the same time the Archons are dealing massive amount of splash damage, but now the lurkers are protected here by the Dark Swarm, so PUSAN has to back off, and of course he might need some Zealots here, but his economy is going to allow this. He's at 43 workers versus 28 all of a sudden, so I'm pretty sure another drop has been done here by PUSAN. Let's have a look at his expansion. All of his probes are not mining, so they might be pushed here into this location. Another Plague dealing damage even onto those cannons here. Probes are being pulled in the middle of the map. Now this is the most important expansion here for the Protoss, of course, the center of the map. He has more workers than the Zerg here. The Zerg is going to try to do a bust here with so many Hydralisks, so many Lurkers here for him. Even some Scourge soaking up the first damage here by those cannons. In come the Lurkers in the front, the Hydralisk in the back dealing so much damage here, and indeed this is going to be the game here for Savior. What a crazy back and forward game here by both players. Still didn't know in the end of the game who is going to take it. The Protoss had more workers here than the Zerg, and at one point he was feeling very confident, very strong here, taking out the expansion and the main here. But in the end, those plagues and those Dark Swarm gameplay here with those Defilers won the Zerg the game. Of great counter tried by the Protoss with that Psionic Storm and perhaps with some more Reavers, but he did play very well, especially the Archons with their splash damage. Good usage, so a great game here by both players. Very strong game here by them indeed. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay as much as I did. I will be seeing you, of course, in the next replay. This is your host Tommy signing out.